Hey guys, I thought I would tell a story a little bit about my outside life outside of the department. A lot of you guys know that I'm involved in improv comedy, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about how that started, where that came from, where I've been, and kind of where I'm at today. Um, going back when I was little, I was kind of awkward and really small, and I grew up in kind of a rough neighborhood, so I kind of got picked on a lot. And being, I never realized that I was funny until I got older. But I used to say things to keep myself out of trouble, um, say funny things to keep myself out of trouble and keep myself from getting into fights with people. There was actually one time where somebody called my mom a hoe, and I said, she's not a hoe, she's a sign language interpreter. And they kind of were real taken aback by that and didn't know what to do with that, but it kept me from getting a bloody nose. So I kind of realized that it worked as a tool in making friends and keeping myself out of fights. So it really wasn't until I got probably into the 8th grade that it became a way for me to have confidence in myself. I hosted a talent show and did a lot of impressions that people always saw me do around school or whatever, and it set me apart from the other kids. And then when I got into high school, it was kind of an area I didn't know where to go with it, because I knew that improv was a game that you used as a tool for serious theater, but I didn't know that it was its own entity. So I never really followed just straight improv path when I was in high school. But but I knew I had talent in comedy. So when I was in high school, I attended some improv comedy shows at Comedy Sports that has like short form. It's kind of games. It's bitty. It's kind of cheesy. And I used to go to those in high school for like birthday parties and stuff because it was fun. But I never really thought anything of it. And when I graduated from high school, I tried community college. It wasn't my thing. I wasted money. I wasn't going to classes, but I knew that I loved comedy. So when I was 18, I tried my hand at stand-up. And sometimes it was great, it was amazing, and people were laughing. I legally couldn't be in the bar, but I could be on the stage. So I'd kind of come in the door, get up on stage, do my stuff, and get out of there really quickly so the bar wouldn't get in trouble. But when it bombed, and being 18, being a female, having drunk older men yell at you is terrifying. And so I really needed a venue that would allow me to be more supported. And I remembered Comedy Sports, and I decided to take classes there. And I just fell in love with it. I got to be all these characters that I came up with when I was a kid, and people, played off of it, and I became really strong at the craft. I was making professors in scenes with me crack up laughing. They couldn't keep their characters on the right path, and I really fell in love with it. And I didn't realize that there were more variations of it where there's differences. There's short form improv where it's kind of playing around, it's games, and it's really fast and really bitty, and it's kind of like, whose line is it anyway? I don't know if you've seen that TV show where they have like different objects and they make them into a telephone or something funny. It's really silly. And while I was good at it, it wasn't really my style, and I wasn't really sure where to go with it. So then a friend of mine said they had this improv team, which was long form. And at the time, I had no idea what long form was. But my friend was like, we really like your comedy. We want to know if you want to join our group. And he was like, do you know what long form is? And I said, of course I do. I had no idea what it was, but I knew that I wanted to be involved in everything improv. So I got on that team and found out that long form was this amazing world where you could be in the same scene for the entire like half hour of a show, and you don't have to go you don't have to leave that scene. You just get to be characters, and you're not yourself. You get to be whoever you want. You could be an old Southern woman or a little tiny child, which are two characters I play often. Anyway, so I did that, and from there, people really started to notice me in and around in Portland, and encouraging me to go further and further. Well, in Portland, there's kind of a cap on it that after a certain point, you just don't have anywhere to go. And I went to my director, and and he was giving everyone notes. It was after a class I had taken, and he's giving everyone notes, and I said, "What do you recommend I do? I feel stuck." And he said, "I think you should go to Chicago. I think you have the kind of talent, and here you're not going to advance any further than you already are. But if you go to Chicago, you could be doing improv as much as you want." So I was, back then I was a butcher, and I had a lot of money because I worked really hard, and I was able to save up $9,000 in 4 months. And at the end of my lease, I got rid of all my possessions and had 2 duffel bags and moved to Chicago, Illinois. I got a job at Whole Foods probably 3 months after I moved here, really lucky. And I was able to hang on to that money. And I got into classes at IO, went all the way through the levels. They put me on a team, and I started kind of building a name for myself around town. I got involved at the Playground Theater. I did some stuff at Second City, and I really loved it, but at the same time, there was all this like drama behind it, like women aren't funny, and you only got on this team because you're a woman, and if you were a man and you had the talent, you might, it was just all this drama. And I really started to not like that side of it. And after a while, I just started thinking, I don't like that. Anyway, so I went on several really, really good auditions. People started talent scouting at my shows. I got scouted for an audition for the Oxygen Network about a comedy show, and I got scouted for the Jamie Foxx show for auditions. I was called back for Second City Tour Co., which is their traveling company, and let's see, I had another callback for IO. I did really well, but my problem was just not pushing myself through. I had the talent, but not the drive, and so I started thinking, I need to get some financial support just to support this improv career. And that's when I went back to school, and I had a theater major, but that really wasn't me. And I remember, growing up around sign language and how much I loved it and always wanted to conquer it and understand it fully and be able to talk to my mom's friends. So I changed my major to sign language interpreting. And now my long-term goal is sort of to have this passion that I love with sign language and have it support this passion that I have with improv comedy. And so now I'm not able to do improv as much as I'd like to, but or comedy at all as much as I'd like to. But people still keep me in mind. I was just very fortunate enough. A friend of mine called me for a short that he needed to shoot, and I showed up, and all of a sudden, Greg Holloman was there, and I don't know if you watch Strangers with Candy, but he's Principal Blackman, and I was trying to rack my brain, trying to remember, like, why do I know this guy? And he was like, "What, you don't shake hands?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Principal Blackman." So I got to do that shoot, and I got to make him crack up laughing, which felt really good to make somebody like superior to you, impress them. Like, that always feels good. So I'm still doing comedy in and around town, but with the with the program, with my major, I'm not able to do it as much. And my long-term goal is just to uh, graduate from the program and really have this support system for my comedy, and also to get back into to be fluent in ASL and to interpret in the education environment, and maybe overlap the two. Maybe have, interpret in the comedy environment would be phenomenal. I would love that, to interpret for improv. It would be really hard, but I would love it. Anyway, thanks a lot.